Hello and welcome to episode number 269, I believe, nice, of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be SmackDown for week 3 of July 2022, and it's the go-home show for both Evolution and King of the Ring. King of the Ring's first, King of the Ring's on Saturday. So, yeah. We're going to find out the finalists of both the Queen's Crown and King of the Ring tournaments tonight as Keith Lee takes on Bron Breakker in the semi-final of the men's King of the Ring, and the main event will be Utami taking on Toni Storm in the Queen's Crown quarterfinal. But then we're also going to have Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan face to face. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. To pay homage to, this week's real life episode of Raw, we're going to start off with a brawl. Shotzi and Dakota are brawling, probably not in the ring, probably in like Gorilla or something. And then it spills out to ringside. Because Shotzi jumped Dakota, pissed off that she destroyed her tank. She's like, I'm gonna fuck you up like you destroyed my tank, bitch, like, rah. And like, just brawl all around ringside. Road agents and referees try and break it up, because we've got fucking the commentators screaming, oh, we were supposed to kick off with Keith Lee versus Bron Breakker, but now we can't do that because we've got these two women brawling around, and Shotzi's kicking and screaming about her tank, and Dakota's like, you need to fucking grow up, bitch, like, it's a tank, like, I've got a championship, that's more important, and Shotzi's like, not for long you don't, bitch, only 2 more days, because I'm going to take it off you this Sunday. I'll admit, I didn't expect when I put this feud together that it was going to end up with a big brawl going into the go-home show, but here we are. Like, one little random segment idea can spiral it out of control. And now Shotzi and Dakota are looking to rip each other apart. Pierce probably comes out and is like, no, you two both fuck off out of the arena. We'll see you on Sunday. And then we get the match. 81, I didn't expect this to do too good. That's why it's opening and not main eventing. But Bron's impressive King of the Ring tournament comes to an end. Keith Lee defeats him with a BBC in 13:57. Keith Lee gets an 85 and Bron Breakker gets an 80, which means we now know the entire Final 4 of King of the Ring. From Raw, it will be Cody Rhodes versus Finn Balor in the Raw King of the Ring final, and the SmackDown King of the Ring final will consist of Seth Rollins and Keith Lee. The two men who had their first match ever, I think it was 4 weeks ago on SmackDown, like to the very day, because that was the go-home show of Money in the Bank, which was on week 3 of June. They had their first ever match against each other. And now we're running it back at King of the Ring. With a spot in the King of the Ring final on the line. Which we hear from Seth. After that, like, he's watching backstage on the screen, and Kayla walks up like, Keith Lee had a banger with him recently, thoughts? And so it's like, heh. It's funny that it's Keith Lee in the final with me, because, like you said, me and him, we had our first ever match against each other, like, a month ago. And I've been waiting to get he one-upped me on that night, but I've been waiting to get my one-up back on him. And he now stands in my way of getting what I need, and that's a WWE Championship match against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Like, Money in the Bank was a no-go, and now it's King of the Ring or bust for Seth Rollins. I have to win. I have to get that shot at Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. That means Keith Lee's got to go down. That means Cody Rhodes or Finn Balor, they've got to go down as well. Doesn't matter who it is, because I'm going to be the king, Kayla. Bayley and Cora. Bayley walks into the locker room. She opens the door, and instead of slamming the door shut, she's just like, where are you? Come out. Silence. She's like, hello? Ding dong, hello? It's like, oh, I guess she's not here. Shuts the door, but Cora was behind the door the whole time. She jump scares Bayley again. Like, I mean, wasn't last week just great? Like, we worked so well together. You came out and we were an incredible tag team, but that's not what I want to talk about, Bayley. I want to talk about what happened after the match. Bayley's like, ugh. And Cora's like, see, I was really happy to see that you'd actually come around on this whole idea of us being a tag team, because you ran out to save me while Charlotte and Jordan were beating me up. But, like, you left me hanging with that hug, girl. Like, what's this all about? Bayley went, well, is it not obvious? I don't want to be your partner, but something I've been roped into for Evolution, I guess. So I guess if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get a championship match at the all-women's special pay-per-view event. Well, I may as well be your partner and try and win that championship. I didn't hug you because we're not friends. Of course, like, oh, come on. We're more than friends, Bayley. We're partners. And in 48 hours, we'll be champions together. Will you give me a hug then? And Bayley's like, just don't screw it all up. You've got a knack for that, Cora. Just not again. And then Bayley shuts the door behind her and leaves Cora in her locker room. She's like, don't screw up. Okay, noted. Not gonna screw up. Not gonna do it. Bayley doesn't want you to screw up, Cora. You're not gonna do it. 62, that's actually okay for what this match is. Toxic Attraction and Double Trouble. Again, this is a hype for the Women's Tag Team Championship Contenders Royale that'll be on the kickoff show for Evolution. So I decided to put two tag teams against each other. And I felt like Toxic Attraction have eaten too many L's since they came up. Like, I know I have the whole thing of, oh, not everyone needs to be undefeated. But they need to pick up some wins, and I feel like I've gone too ham on beating them recently. And Amory and Kelsey are young, plucky underdogs anyway. They can eat an L literally whenever, and it'll be fine. So JC submits Amory here. 49 for JC, 60 for Gigi, 44 for Kelsey, 54 for Amory. And it's actually pretty good, all things considered. And then Mandy gets on the mic after that, and he's like, you see what we saw here? Oh my god, this was a good promo. It's like, you see here is proof that, you know, you can throw whatever teams you want. You can throw as many singles wrestlers as you want in this battle royal. A tag team unit is going to come out on top, and there's not a closer tag team unit than Toxic A right here. And these girls, they just proved it. And we're women, these are girls. We're in a different league to these two. And as if they even make it to Evolution. And then 3-on-2 assault of Amory and Kelsey by Toxic Attraction. Shida runs out because I guess she still sort of dislikes them. And she's not booked on the pay-per-view, so I guess she's in the Battle Royal. Then Raquel runs out because her and Zelina had like a soft alliance with Toxic Attraction a couple of weeks ago. They were on the Toxic Lounge together. And then Candice runs out, I guess, just to be... Oh, she also has history with Raquel, so it does make sense. So instead of it is inherently just everybody in the Battle Royal has a big schmoz, but I can actually work out links as to why they came out in the order that they did. That's called stumbling across what looks like long-term booking, not actually long-term booking. But, you know, long-term booking is the funny meme, so let's say it was long-term booking. Just a quick video recap of Buddy Murphy and Dijakovic. Things like this in real life I'm hoping we're going to get more of now with Triple H doing shit, because OG like 2013-14 Black and Gold NXT did these a lot, and I think they really do help. Like, I've got nothing else to build up for the Buddy Dijakovic versus DIY tag match. We got the big promo last week of Ciampa uniting with Gargano. So we're just going to get like a recap of Buddy Murphy's like rehab from his broken leg. And like his training, his new regime as the $6 Million Man, you know. And like just give them like some more character depth and like why they've gone down this path. But it's like, I didn't need the hilt, but if they're going to stick metal plates in my body, I'm not going to fucking say no, am I, mate? And then Dijakovic, he speaks for the first time since the rebrand, and he's like, when I heard Buddy had needed backup, I was right there to take the call because I've been floating around on SmackDown as myself. Nobody seems to care until I put on the paint. And he's wearing the face paint that he's got on here. And shit like that. And they're teaming up against DIY at King of the Ring. Should be fun. Oh, 95. Sasha Indy face to face with Lita and Trish ahead of Evolution, the tag match. Sasha calling Lita a bitch for all the distractions and shit. Hired Sanga to be the personal bodyguard to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. And now look who it is. Look who's come back to ride my coattails, Sasha says. It's like, you people haven't been able to get your name out of my mouth ever since 2018. 4 years, all I've heard is, when are you fighting Trish? When is Trish fighting Sasha Banks? Well, I was content to leave a has-been like you in the past, but I guess you've come knocking. And it's you and your best friend against me and Indy, my protege, at Evolution. Well, see you there. And Sasha offers a hand out to Trish and Lita, who are sort of like, this seems like a trap. And Sasha's just grinning and looking down at the hands, like, shake my hand. And Lita's like, no, I'm good. See, I would shake your hand for two things. One, you're trying to sucker us in, lull us into a false sense of security. And two, I just don't respect you, Sasha. You're just a whining, snivelling little bitch. You're as talented could be in this ring. Possibly one of the best ever. Somebody I'd have loved to have competed with alongside Trish and myself in my prime. That doesn't mean I have to respect you as a human being. And Trish's like, and as far as that dream match between you and me goes, Sasha, well, fans have been clamouring to see me get back in the ring. I don't want to just get back in the ring. I haven't wrestled since 2020. You know? It's been nearly 2 years since I've been last wrestled in this ring. I need to really prove that I've still got it, and I'm going to prove that I've still got it at Evolution. And when I whip your ass in this tag team encounter, there'll be no need for a dream match. Because fans would have already seen what they need to see, and that's Trish Stratus kicking your head off with the chick kick. So it's like, well, bitch, we'll see you on Sunday. And Sanga again stands in the middle to maintain peace and stop a fight breaking out as Sasha and Indy walk off. What the fuck? This did good. I was expecting like a 50. Madcap Moss gets his first win back in WWE. He beats his old friend, his old peak of physique partner, Knee Jerk Nese. Madcap gets a 41, Tony Nese gets a 78. And the uncrowned United States champion, I guess. He won that title back from Corbin in Vegas by winning a gambling game of whatever. I don't know what exact game he'd be playing. I imagine just blackjack or something like that. But after the match, Corbin lays him out with the end of days and takes back the US title. Boo. I know no one wants to see that, but maybe Madcap will actually take it and be able to keep it tomorrow night at King of the Ring. Who can say for sure? Here's a segment. Elias is in the ring. In the spooky House of Black chair, or whatever. And he's sitting there with his acoustic. Rick Boogs just challenged him to a rock-off. And then Elias is just going to sit there and just casually just strum, like, spooky beats. Like some spooky, like, fucking sermon of, like, summoning the House of Black. Whereas Boogs, you know what he does. He's like, yeah, ow, rock off! Shredding his electric guitar. And then the fans are like, who do you think won? Do you think Elias won? And they're like, boo. And he's like, whatever. Just a stone-faced expression. Like, do you think Boogs won? Yeah. And then Boogs turns around, eats a black mass. And the House of Black mug him, beat him up like 4-on-1. Elias is still just sat in the ring, so he's not part of the brawl. Shinsuke tries to come out and even the odds, but again, outnumbered. And the House of Black leave Nakamura and Boogs laying just 24 hours before their SmackDown Tag Team title match at King of the Ring. 76. Big dub for the Creeds here. They beat the Infamous Era. Julius pins, or submits apparently Bobby Fish, but probably not. Pins him probably. 51 for Brutus, 52 for Julius, 61 for Bobby, and an 80 for Roddy. And yeah, this is why having these two around specifically is really good, because they're like good vets that can just help young guys like the Creeds get over and like get better. But after the match, Gable takes the microphone and apparently doesn't do a very good job. He's like, I'm here to issue an apology. Apparently, Adam Pearce and Pat McAfee think I owe an apology for my actions last week. In case you missed it and you didn't watch, Pat McAfee asked me a question in an interview backstage and I took great offence to it, and I started throwing insults at him and stormed off the show, throwing the headset on the floor. That's not very, Olympian of me. I'm normally a professional, but when you hit that button that makes me tick, and that button made me tick, then I just sort of lost my cool. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. And Gable leaves, and the whole of the Alpha Academy follow him. And the announcers are like, okay, well, that was weird, but at least he apologized for his erratic behavior. Mello. He's by himself in the barbershop this week because Trick's still out with a slipped disc. And they're like, hey, Mello, you saw your big win last week against former World Heavyweight Champion Oney Lorcan. He's like, yeah, beating world champions as a future world champion, that's kind of my MO right now. Because, Mello, when I shoot, I don't miss, and I'm shooting for the very top. And I'm going to get there, don't matter, I ain't ever going to stop. And like, even Trick's watching at home, he's texting me. My boy's gassing me up, he'll be back as soon as he can get back. We haven't forgotten about Trick, but Mello doesn't rely on Trick doesn't rely on Mello. We're just as good as we are together. I ain't slowing down, this train ain't rolling, Trick's train ain't rolling. It's just temporarily being halted at a station where he needs to get repairs done, and then I'll be back and we'll be shooting to the very top together when I catch this bad boy. Yeah, I could even do it tomorrow night at King of the Ring. Who knows? Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Goldberg, Big E. A lot of potential targets there. Holy shit. A match I thought was going to get like an 84 gets an 89. And we now know the final four of the Queen's Crown tournament. Because Utami Hayashishita defeats Toni Storm with the Samoan drop, apparently. Toni gets an 83 and a 77 for Utami. And she will now go on to face, I guess, temporary ally Kairi Sane in the SmackDown Queen's Crown final. Whereas the Raw's Queen's Crown final will see Balor Club's Liv Morgan face off with Asuka. And one of those four will be Queen of the Ring. After the match, we just get a quick bit of respect between Kairi and Utami. Because, like I said, they were, friendly against Toxic Attraction together recently. And they're just two respectable baby faces, gassing each other up to, the Japanese style. '93 rated segment. Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, Jimmy Uso, Jacob Fatu come to the ring. It's like, when I was told I was flying out here on SmackDown to go face to face with Daniel Bryan, there was one issue with, I can't go face to face with Daniel Bryan. He's not as tall, he's not as big as my tribal chief. He comes onto my little chest, doesn't he, Paul? And Heyman's like, Liz, make no bones about it, tribal chief Roman Reigns, you are bigger than Daniel Bryan, and you can't go face to face with Daniel Bryan. But here is the thing. Daniel Bryan can go toe-to-toe with the tribal chief in this ring. Make no bones about it, Daniel Bryan at King of the Ring tomorrow night will be one of your, if not your very best, greatest challenge to date. And that includes The Rock. That includes Seth Rollins. That includes Bron Breakker, Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano. All of these names. Daniel Bryan may be the very best of them all. He may be the very best wrestler I have ever seen when it comes to technical expertise and prowess in this very ring. But he ain't no tribal chief. He ain't as unstoppable as the tribal chief. He can be beat. He can be exploited. And this is his first WWE match in over a year. And it's against the tribal chief for the WWE Championship at King of the Ring. And then Bryan comes out and he says, yeah, what they say is true, isn't it, Paul? You do really know how to promote a fight. And Paul's like, I am a promoter. It's in my best interest to promote your match with the tribal chief this Saturday night. And Bryan's like, you see, you left out one important detail there, Paul. I'm not no tribal chief. I'm better. You said it yourself. Daniel Bryan may be one of the best wrestlers you've ever seen, ever, in the history of this sport. And I take that compliment to heart, Paul. Maybe I don't feel so highly of myself, but there's one thing I do feel highly about myself, and that's that I'm better than you, Roman. See, you've held a grudge against me. You've never liked me, have you? Ever since you first came here in 2012, your first match on pay-per-view, who did you beat? Me, I was on that team. And you couldn't shake it off, you couldn't get over the fact that these people chose me and not you, because you were the company man. I was the people's man. Yes, chants going off. And sure, last time we faced off, you went on to go main event WrestleMania. Congratulations, how'd that work out for you? Because the thing is, Roman, you struggled for 6 years to find an identity that connected with these people, and ultimately what happened, what made them finally see you and start respecting you, was for you to turn your back on them, and then you blame them for your turn. You see, no, it's not their fault, it's yours. Whether or not I've turned my back on these people in the past, I'm not going to pretend I haven't. But ultimately, they never turned their back on me. And it was with that I have to fight at King of the Ring. Not just for me, but for everybody around the world who's ever come to a WWE arena and chanted, yes. Because they pay to see me kick your head in, and they pay to see me end this nightmare at King of the Ring. And Roman just sort of looks at him like a nerve has been touched. And he's like, let's see you make it to King of the Ring. Boom. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso jump him. Big assault. Braun Breaker and Keith Lee run out. They fight off the other two. Keith takes Jacob to the outside. Them two big boys brawl. Braun takes Jimmy Uso to the outside. They brawl. And Roman's sort of watching on in the ring going, where you going, boys? What are you doing? Fight them off. Turns around. Bang. Roman is connected flush with the knee from Daniel Bryan. Big pop. And Heyman's giving his big shocked expression going, oh my god, no. Bryan looks at the WWE title on the floor. He picks it up. And he starts posing, holding the belt up high over the Roman Reigns' downed body. Will that be the sight in 24 hours' time? 90 rated show, that's fine for SmackDown. Again, 90 rated shows and no popularity changes. Okay then. Well, we must now move over, change our focus to Velocity, where we're going to get the second half, the final four first knockout round matches of the Cruiserweight World Cup. We're going to figure out who the entire identity of our final 8 coming up shortly. And it's probably going to be the worst match of the knockout rounds. And it's all because of stupid chemistry, because not even do they not click, they don't click at all, it really fucks them up. But Metalik knocks out Yosuke in 13-18 with a Fisherman's Carry Metalik driver. Metalik gets a 68, Yosuke gets a 41. And that means Metalik will advance to the quarterfinals, where he will face the winner of tonight's main event between Ricochet and Akira Tozawa. So that's good for him, the Legado boy. Things are paying off dividends for him. As for Yosuke, he was the big foreign signing. His future is fine, don't worry. You'll probably be able to work it out come the end of the weekend, it's fine. 80? Kushida, though, he's the Japanese guy that does advance in the tournament. He defeats Lince Dorado in 13-31 with a supernova press. 83 for Lince, 77 for Kushida. Somehow Lince actually does better, which is odd. But Kushida is also in the quarterfinals, and he'll face the winner of our next match, which is between Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Which gets an 82. I didn't expect that to do that good either. Dominic does it though. He defeats Santos. Probably with a roll-up or something. And yeah, 12-16, Dominic gets the win. 77 for Santos, 70 for Dominic. And a lot of people in the game are coming to me going, oh, Dominic's really good, I want to put him over. So I guess it's time to actually start, getting behind the boy. And a win over someone like Escobar will help. It's fine. And an 83 rated main event. That's apparently a lack of psychology. Both Path of the Dragon boys are eliminated. Ricochet defeats Tozawa in 16-20 by pinfall with a 6:30. 91 for Ricochet, 80 for Tozawa. Apparently there's a lack of psychology, which it goes 16 minutes, so I guess the game will say that's fair. Pulling back the curtain a little bit on here, Tozawa probably would have gone a lot further in the tournament, but he actually bulked himself up to middleweight in the game. Like, I never asked him to. He just decided he was going to become a tank. I'm trying to imagine what, like, muscular middleweight Akira Tozawa would look like, and it's making me laugh. Like, I can't imagine it. But with so, he's now no longer eligible to hold the Cruiserweight title. Because I don't want to kayfabe this shit. I want this to be, like, actually Cruiserweight wrestlers, lightweights. So he had to be bounced out of the tournament because he bulked himself up too much. Which does mean Ricochet will advance to face Grand Metalik in the quarterfinals. And we now know our entire final 8 of the tournament. It will be Rey Mysterio versus Dudley Davis, which should be a fucking barn burner, let me tell you that. Roderick Strong against Zachary Ben-Shahar. Grand Metalik versus Ricochet, and Dominic Mysterio versus Kushida. One of those 8 names I read out there will be the next, I'll say first, of this regime, but the next Cruiserweight champion. Also, little subtle thing, I don't know if you noticed, that did go 16 minutes. The whole 15-minute time limit thing is gone, now we're out of the group stage. That was just a way so that draws could become possible. Like, it's fine. They can go as long as they need now. But it's still only a 1 hour show, so they probably still won't go that long. But yeah, we can now break 15 minutes. And also, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I might have a note on screen if I am wrong. Starting next week, the schedule for the tournament will be a little bit different, and there won't be 4 matches every show. So I think for the first time since the very first episode of Velocity, we can actually have non-tournament matches happen on the show, which should be fun, But we end the show, it gets us an 82, not as good as last week's 90. That left side of the bracket is looking, in terms of performances, a lot stronger. But maybe just an off night for these guys tonight, I don't know. But anyway, I'll see you next time for episode 270, which will be our King of the Ring pay-per-view premium live event extravaganza. Where we're going to find out who will punch their ticket to SummerSlam with a world change opportunity. Will it be Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, Keith Lee, or Seth Rollins? Big E versus Goldberg, Bryan versus Reigns, and a whole lot more. You don't want to miss it. See you then.